Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. HarlequinCoHO here, and I've got Newbie Tuesday number 2 for you. If you missed it last week, this is kind of my tribute to the Day 9 daily. Day 9 is one of my favorite all-time casters, and who got me into casting in the first place, and introduced this concept of the Newbie Tuesday game, and so that's what I'm just going to copy over here for you. And the purpose of this is that rather than looking at top players and expert perfect strategies or anything like that, we're just going to look at normal games today and just get a look at what normal players are doing out there and just compliment what they're doing right and criticize what they're doing wrong, and hopefully right off the bat, don't cancel your barracks and build another one right on top of it. Anyhow, and hopefully by doing this we all become better players just by kind of looking at regular games. So the responses from the first Newbie Tuesday were really good, and I had tons and tons of submissions, so just kind of went through, pick some of my favorite ones to look at them, but I'll definitely make this a regular thing because this is kind of fun. So let's take a look at our players today. Here we have in the left-hand side of the map, we have asdasfasd. So definitely in the newbie sort of name. They're just kind of spammed out a random keyboard mashing of letters. And he's going to be an airborne commander with airdrop supply drops. I always think that's a kind of redundant name. And airdropped smoke. So, going to look at his opponent here in the upper right, ChuckNorris 1, who definitely has all 5 commander abilities. He is a blitzkrieg commander with flares, stormtroopers, rocket barrage, assault reinforcements, and heavy armor support. Right away, I think getting both assault reinforcements and heavy armor support is kind of silly. I think if you're going to get either of those, you're going to want manpower blitz, and the rest of these are fine. But just, you know, little caveat there. I don't know if he ever gets to use both of them in the same game or not, but it's kind of hard to shell out $1,600 for a Tiger and an Ostwind and all that when you don't have manpower blitz. So, meanwhile, on the left-hand side of the map, we'll see that ASD, I'm just going to call him ASD from now on. ASD has got a good-looking control over, you know, he's just doing his normal sort of thing. Whoops, kind of forgot to cap this up. Perhaps didn't shift-click his things correctly. So for anyone who's not used to this sort of stuff, take your engineers, right-click them on this point, hold down the shift key, and then right-click them on this point, and they will do each in succession. And that's a good way to queue up stuff. So you'll see that my first major criticism, I'm going to pause for a sec just to look at this map here. First major criticism for our Axis players, he has not expanded outward. He went straight for the middle of the game, the middle of the map, and just, you know, he wants map control, and I think he has the wrong sort of win conditions in mind once again, or at least the wrong sort of idea about how the economy in this game works. So I'm going to jump back into the game, and we'll take a look and see where this is going to go. But I think the theme for this is going to be the difference between tactics and strategies, and I think he's mistaking the two. So we'll see where this goes from here. He's got he's occupying the church. He's definitely gonna just make sure nobody can get in this church. And then he's occupying this building here because he wants to just kind of pin down the front of the base with the machine gun. All of these are good strategies, but I wouldn't call them good tactics. You don't just do them blindly, because as you can see, there's really not a lot for these things to do here. He's reacting to a situation that doesn't exist on the field. So, in the meantime, it's costing him a lot of a lot of resources, really, because remember, this is not StarCraft. You don't have peons in the back of your base who are mining minerals or something like that. You only get your income based on the number of these territories you have and how much they add up to. Your manpower is given by everything. You know, every one of these points gives manpower, and some of them additionally give you fuel and that sort of thing. So if you want to have a faster econ, you want more territories right off the bat so that you make more money over time. This little number here next to your name. We'll take a look. ChuckNorris is getting 279, 10, and 5. And let's drop on down and see what ASD is doing here. And he's getting 253, 10, and 21 here. So he's capping out, and it looks like he's disconnecting his caps here. So, but he is spreading out. He is spreading out pretty well. So you'll see pretty soon that he's going to cap most of this area back here, and ChuckNorris is going to have to sort of double back to get away from it all. So we'll see. The second thing I do like that he's doing, however, ChuckNorris is grabbing a sniper, and he even has reduces damage by 10%. Okay, that's a pretty good blue army item there. And he's pairing the sniper with the machine gun. Again, to what end, I have no idea, because there haven't been any clear targets on this side of the map, but he's really reinforcing this area. Meanwhile, we'll see that ASD is just down here capping everything. It looks like, I don't know if he even ever saw this once. I think it's just random coincidence that both players happen to take such wildly different strategies. Again, I don't really like the fact that he missed this. I don't think it was decapped. I think he just kind of moved on by it. And hoping to kind of connect everything together, but this whole area here really needs to get connected. So just be aware of the chessboard, which pieces touch which, and what you need to be able to connect everything together, because this is all fine here, but if he's going to go and grab this stuff, he wants to connect that together. We'll take a look and see if we got a little bit of skirmishing going on down here. It looks like the riflemen are putting some pressure. This MG team is setting up, facing the riflemen. The riflemen are going to have to back away. It looks like they might just get out of there, maybe getting out of there without getting pinned a little bit. Oh, suppressed just lightly. Meanwhile, engineers are just kind of fighting out, and I think that this was a preemptive retreat. I think he underestimates the close combat effectiveness of pioneers there. That could have been just fine. So again, you see, he doesn't get this beginning munitions post, and as a result, you know, he's just kind of a lot less connected than he could be. So very bad opening position for the German player. I think the German player did a lot of good habits. You know, he got a forward Rax, he got a forward machine gun, he got a forward sniper, but it's this idea that he's just kind of imitating something that he saw somewhere else, as opposed to doing it because it fits the situation that he's fighting in right now. So already this map position just seems kind of ludicrous, because frankly, ASD's army is not big enough to hold all of this stuff. You know, there's no reason that ASD should have this much of a, you know, command and control over the game at the moment. If you look at his, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to ASD. But if we look at his army, you know, he's just got, you know, a normal amount of riflemen, and he's got 4 riflemen and 2 engineers. Pretty standard. Kind of getting killed over here by that machine gun finally. Getting some targets to shoot at. Oh, and he loses the engineer squad. You know, that's kind of bad. But you'll see finally, it looks like ChuckNorris is going to... I just love being able to talk about ChuckNorris. Notice, by the way, that these do have the Panzerfaust ability here. So, but these pioneers are just going to get scared away right away here. So now the riflemen are doing some damage, and pretty much whenever your opponent decides he's going to draw a line in the sand and just be like, all right, that's it, I'm going to have this territory, you know, think outside the box. I think it's kind of accidental in this case, but you know, think outside the box and say, okay, well, let me just take everything except for that, and you can have this area. As you can see, he's got strong control over this tiny area here, which is no longer connected to anything. And these retreating engineers here, I think what's going on, if I had to use my mind reading abilities, I'd say that it looks like it's time for a supply depot, and ASD just didn't want to have to build another engineer. So, you know, not, you know, I guess I, you know, maybe just build another engineer next time or something, because it's a shame to have to, you know, retreat away from the front. And this is not a bad position for the heavy machine gun team. You'll see, once again, 15% weapon damage. That's a good ability there, and the fast acceleration. Meanwhile, the riflemen have no upgrades whatsoever, no army items, and are just kind of exchanging fire. This kind of positioning, always good. It's always good to get one group pinned, pinning way ups their armor, and have another group just come on out and try and, you know, provide the fire to actually kill the machine gun. So we'll see. This is still doing nothing out here. I'm going to just swap back to ChuckNorris. I keep swapping camera because I like trying to see what's in these buildings. So we still have a machine gun. We still have an engineer doing nothing. I mean, just absolutely doing nothing. This engineer, no reason to be in here. He should have ejected from this building immediately. Capped this, capped that, recap. You know, always be backcapping, and I think that that's one of the problems that ChuckNorris is having in this game. You can see interesting use of smoke. He did drop smoke right on that, but I think I would have rather seen smoke dropped right in the face of this heavy machine gun, although I don't know how upgraded the airdrop smoke ability is. Again, I think in general this is a good tactic here, but that probably wasn't the best way to do it. You know, blob of smoke right on top of the machine gun, and then engage the pioneers without the machine gun being able to fire. You know, stuff like that. That could have worked really well. Instead, he plopped it on the pioneers, but still just kind of chilling here. No kills for this sniper, really being immobile, just not adapting to the situation. On the other hand, I think ASD is doing a fine job. He's not making too many mistakes. But he's also, I mean, for his opponent being as crippled as he is, ASD is kind of letting him get away with a lot. I think the kind of the next phase of this game is, okay, so you've won the game. How do you seal the deal? because that's kind of going to be kind of the problem that we're going to start seeing for ASD, is that he starts just kind of bumbling with, how do I seal the deal? How do I make this a win now? I mean, clearly I have dominating map control, and now we'll see that he says, okay, it's time for me to retake this territory here, so I'm just going to run on out and retake this territory. And you see right away, Sniper's going to start doing some damage, and he's going to have a lot of trouble just capping these last couple of points, because it turns out they are very heavily defended, and you just need to put a little bit of thought into how you want to go about attacking it while you still maintain your defenses, because you can see there's a pretty good threat of machine guns. I'm not sure I like this machine gun emplacement. This is way too defensive. He's so disconnected. ChuckNorris is just thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to hold on to what I can get and cap it. Just send these pioneers out. Just send them out. You can always retreat them at the first sign of danger. Constantly be capping. The macro portion of the Company of Heroes online game basically requires you to just constantly challenge the territory of your opponents. And now here we have a well-intentioned attack, but you can see that he needs to just adapt to the situation a little bit better. So he's moving out, he's attacking the guys who are in the church. That I like. This church needs to go down, but he's doing so on both sides of it, one side being clearly in range of snipers and machine guns. This entire attack force, you know, he knew the sniper was there, he felt it earlier, he knew the machine gun was there. There's no reason to attack this way. He should attack from the top. While he's attacking, he could be capping this. Once he's done, he could be, you know, forward barracksing this church here, and you can even see he's backing away from it right now. He could have just capped that, and took huge losses there. And now he's very weak on the front. Now he needs to like hope that there's not too much forces coming down the bridge here, because he really just weakened himself by doing that. And this could have been a real easy step-by-step thing. Flame Engineers standing right here by themselves. Oh no! And they crawl on up. Now they're getting sniped. Now they're getting shot by the machine gun. So really needs to just kind of stop and think, okay, what do I need to hold the front, and what do I need to, and just look at this damage going on here. Just all of these riflemen, sniper just picking the last couple guys out. The machine gun's going to start firing point blank into this building. I think he's going to lose everybody. So he just lost everybody. So ChuckNorris has no map control and no units, and he had a pretty good defensive position, and unfortunately it looked like dropping brownies all over the place. It looked like ASDF decided to attack this bridge in the most defended way possible. He just decided, okay, we'll take it head on. We'll be right in front. Again, I like where this is going, but I think he's just using the smoke a little bit wrong here. And I'm not the best airborne player, so I really have never used smoke. You know, I play a bunch of different commanders, but airborne is not one of them. But it looks like the smoke drop was, you know, it bought him a little bit of time, and the flamethrower is doing it right, but now the flamethrower is getting sniped, and this is just a very bloody kind of brute force way of, and now you can see he's pinned and sniped, and there's one guy left, and oh, he's got to retreat again, and just so many casualties, losing so many units to this sort of stuff when it's this real brute force style of attack. And you'll see oftentimes that, you know, every pro that I ever see, you know, Automed, if you haven't seen his games, I got a bunch of his, they jump out at me. Whenever he attacks a machine gun at all, there's always kind of a farce and then an attack, wherein it looks like he's resupplying his machine gun here, so that's a pretty good habit right there. He attacks from the front with some units and gets them pinned, and then immediately has a flanking team that comes around and actually does the damage. So the Greyhound is just about to finish upping its armored skirts and then going right into the 50 cal. This is normal good behavior. We'll see that he does have he is floating a good amount of money. He really could have had an earlier one of those and more of those, but this is what you need. Greyhound armored car solved this entire problem. Just rush it on out there. It's going to take some damage from those machine guns if you know, stand in their fire for too long, but you should be able to clear this whole place out and cap everything. Now we see that it looks like ChuckNorris has got his bearings, and he's moving back out and trying to cap the rest of the northern half of the map. Good habits once again. Use your shift-click rally points. If you're new to this game and you haven't done it yet, click on one, hold down shift, click on another, hold down shift, click on another, hold down shift. Really, do it for like 4 or 5 points, and then forget about it. If your guys get under attack, you'll see it on your map, and you can jump over to them real quick and tell them to retreat, or to, you know, break their queued up commands. But you know, if you get lucky and they don't bump into anybody, you can forget all about that unit, and they'll cap 4 points for you, and save yourself the micro. Just do it all up front. In fact, that works for a whole wide variety of things anyway. So, you know, I kind of like, I kind of don't like this sort of thing here. So he is dropping Greyhound mines. That's always kind of cool. And Greyhound mines can be, you know, super duper. But you know, I want to see how he's gonna